Hey friends, this is Coach Rose AJ coming to holla at you with another episode of Carnivore Plus a little bit more. Where, yes, both of us that are here today in the studio are carnivores, but there's so much more to the carnivore lifestyle than simply eating a meat-based diet. There's so much more that goes along. And now today's show, what we're going to be talking about is body positivity, self-acceptance, and loving your body through its changes. And with that being said, I've introduced something new and something fun at the beginning of every show, which is a random fun fact. And what I'm going to share with you today before my co-host introduce herself is it's impossible to sneeze with your eyes open. Go figure. That's a random fun fact. I could have swore, Sandi, that I could sneeze with my eyes open. But Sandi, please go ahead and introduce yourself, who you are, and where people can find you.
I am Sandi BestLife Jones, and thank you for having me tonight, Coach Rose OJ, AJ. I am better known as the Coco Carnivore on Facebook. You can find me there where I post my progress on the carnivore eating protocol. I have a mini blog over there, and when I'm working out, I like to post videos so people can see what I'm doing and just talk about how I'm feeling and how things are going. So come on over to Facebook and find me over there under the Coco Carnivore.
Right on. And is there somewhere else on YouTube that people can find you?
Yes, you can find me on YouTube at the THEE Talk Sunday podcast.
Okay, all right. And I had the opportunity to be a guest on Miss Sandi's show recently, and I loved every minute of it. Sandi, we're going to go ahead and segue into tonight's episode about body positivity and self-acceptance, loving your body through its changes. But before we go there, I have to share with you, while I was running errands after work, I wear artificial eyelashes because I used to, before COVID, I wore the extensions where you had to go get them filled every 2 or 3 weeks.
Mhm.
COVID hit, my lashes was crooked upside down. It took me almost 6 months, maybe a year to get it right, but I couldn't get my lashes right. So
Mhm.
I finally got the lashes that I liked. I know how to cut them and put them on. And I try to use them like at least 3, 4 times days in a row, right?
Mhm.
And for some reason they was lifting coming home. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be bold and just, have this conversation without my lashes. So y'all,
Mhm.
no lashes today, no glasses to camouflage it. And I just feel okay. I feel okay. What about you? Do you have any secrets that you do around makeup or even lashes, a beauty
Yes.
trick that you don't do without, that you're willing to do without sometimes?
Well, as far as not doing without, I rarely go anywhere without lipstick. And I don't wear a lot of makeup, but I do wear my eyeliner and my lipstick. But it's funny that you talked about lashes because I just learned how to put on lashes the right way for the last, I've been wearing lashes for about 5 years, but I've been having my daughter come to my house to put them on for me because I couldn't figure out how to put them on. But this past Sunday, I figured it out. And what I figured out is the lashes go on your lash line, not the bottom of your eyelid. It finally clicked in my head. This is how you do it. So I finally figured out how to do it. But then today, when I tried to do it, they wouldn't stick. So that's why I'm not wearing mine either.
Well, you know what I've also learned about lashes is you have to let the lash glue sit for at
Yes.
least 60 seconds or so, so it becomes tacky. So when you actually put it on, it stays on. But, 5 years, 4.5, 5 years into the game, I'm still struggling some days. Some days it takes
Yeah.
me 5 minutes, and other days it's like, girl, let's go. And just real quick, both Sandi and I work out at Hot Works, so it's a
Mhm.
part of my makeup,
Yes.
and I only wear chapstick and lashes. A part of my makeup every morning at 4:30 in the morning is put my lashes on, and they stay on during a Hot Works workout. So
Ooh.
yeah, it's awesome. So let's go ahead and get started with today, which is a topic that we can both relate to. But I would like for you to kick it off on what are some of your thoughts or experiences that you've had in the recent past or you currently may be experiencing with body
Mhm,
positivity, self-acceptance, and being able to love your body through its changes? Because you actually are in your transformation
I am. Yeah.
currently. Yeah.
Yeah. That's been a really hard one for me. First of all, I was not an overweight child nor an overweight teen. I didn't start gaining weight until I had my first child, almost 39 years ago. So the weight came on after I gave birth. I just was not able to get it off. And so I was 150 pounds before I had her and 250 after I had her. And I've been in the 200s ever since. So it's been a struggle to um, still see myself as beautiful while I'm carrying so much weight. And it hasn't been until the last really probably the last 6 or 7 years that I finally learned how to accept myself the way I am. And not because I'm not willing to make the changes that I need to make, because I knew I need to be healthy and I want to be healthy, which is why I switched to the carnivore way of eating. But now I've learned how to speak to myself the way I speak to my best friend. I would never say anything to my best friend to intentionally hurt her feelings. And so I had to stop doing that to myself. And I think part of the reason why I was doing that is because I felt like I wasn't fully accepted as a person because I am overweight. And that always, it really bothered me. It weighed heavily on my heart. And I wanted to find a new way of lifting myself up instead of waiting for other people to do it for me. And I had to change the way I think about myself and I had to change the way I talk about myself. And I'm so much better now than I was 7, maybe 8 years ago. I understand the power of positive self talk. I understand what it means to know and own and walk in your worth. I understand what it means when we say that we all have value. I have value just by virtue of being alive, and then by virtue of being a woman, and then by virtue of being a Black woman. I am a valuable gift to the world. And I had to start seeing myself that way. It wasn't enough for people to tell me that. I had to start seeing myself that way.
Sometimes when people tell you,
Mhm.
I think that they're coming from the most sincerest place when they
Mhm.
tell us, they show us, and it's repetition. But until we actually believe it for ourselves and say those messages to ourselves, it's
Yeah.
like knocking on death's door. You know what I'm on a ear's
Mhm.
door. And I know for myself, I had a lot of fake it till you make it going on.
Mhm.
I was
Yeah.
faking it like, girl, you look good, girl, but I
Mhm.
didn't feel good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
People would validate when I asked them, do I look okay? Do you like this outfit? It's always yes. Because what bestie or what spouse is going to tell you, no, girl, you look crazy. You
Mhm.
need to take off some of that makeup and put on some black pants instead of the yellow ones you got
Yeah.
on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So even with weight loss, maintenance and whatnot, and even to this day, I feel that sometimes it's a struggle for myself. It's a
Mhm.
struggle
Mhm.
because I think I should be in a different place than I am. And then I snap out of it when I
Mhm.
say, or when I look at people that are in my same age range. Not
Mhm.
that I'm comparing myself to them,
Mhm.
but I'm going to be candid. I don't feel as though I look like the average 57-year-old woman. I feel as though I'm more like 40, 45 as far
Mhm.
as mindset, body structure, and all that stuff. But sometimes, just sometimes, I get
Mhm.
caught up with you getting old, girl. You're not
Mhm.
handling your business like you used to.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you ever get kind of stuck or stagnant sometimes where you have to kind of
Oh,
pop out of that mindset?
girl, all the time.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
I have to talk myself out of it. I work from home.
Yeah.
So I'm at home by myself all day long. And, I just have conversations with myself and I remind myself that I have come so far. I used to be such a people pleaser. I wanted friends so badly that I would just go along to get along and never spoke my truth. I didn't know what it meant to be authentically me. I just tried to assimilate into whatever group would accept me. That was my 20s, and my 30s actually. In my 40s, I started to move away from that, but I still was careful not to be too bright in terms of my internal light that was coming out externally. I've dumbed myself down a lot in my 40s because I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to be part of the group. But baby, when I turned 50, mm,
But,
yeah, all that
oh,
changed. All of that changed. And I don't know if it's like a hormonal thing or if it's just something that happens when you turn 50, but I found myself when I
yes.
turned 50. And I made the decision that I'm going to wake up every day with the intention to be my true and authentic self in all things. And so if that means I have to tell someone the truth with love, then that's what I do because I don't ever want to intentionally harm anyone. But you can't allow not wanting to harm to keep you from speaking the truth. There's just a way that you do it so that you leave the person whole, but you still tell the truth. And so that was my mindset switch when I turned 50. I'm gonna tell the truth, but I'm gonna do it with love, but you're going to get the truth out of me. I'm not going to walk around carrying other people's burdens and my own. You're going to have to take your own stuff because
You
I
know,
got my own
that,
to carry.
that's a very important point right there. You're not going to carry anybody else's burden, including your own, because it's
Mhm.
just a struggle for us to make it through and
Yeah.
manage our own, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so there's a lot of times where you were saying that you went along just to get along. Are
Hmm.
you able to give an example of what that looks like or
Hmm.
looked like? It doesn't have to be very specific to the people's names and situations and stuff, but just a
Yeah.
high
In
level
my
bullet point.
20s, in my 20s, in my 30s, I hung out with people who I had absolutely nothing in common with. People who like to go out and party, people who like to drink and, just be out there in the street doing whatever to the fullest of their ability. And that was not my personality. That was not who I was then, and I'm not that way now. But I felt like that was the only way that I could, have some girlfriends to hang out with. And even though I wasn't drinking like they were drinking, and I would go out to the club with them, but I'd be like sticking out like a sore thumb. I'm at the club in my church clothes, like, girl, what are you doing? What are you doing here? This is not who you are. But I thought they were my friends, and so I wanted to be as much like them as I could be in order for me to be able to hang out with them. And so I did that all through my 20s and a little bit in my 30s too. And then I discovered that I'm a church girl. And I had to learn how to be okay with that. There's just certain things that don't align with my value system. And I know that now as a 57 almost year old woman. Back then, I didn't know that. But I didn't know it in a real way. I knew it unconsciously that this does not align with my value system. But I overrode that so I would have friends. So that's how it showed up for me. Just being with people, hanging out with people, and going places that I had no interest in at all and didn't need to be there. So I'm
Right.
so glad I outgrew that. It took me a while, but I finally did.
So I can relate to a lot of that too. A lot of times being the ringleader and hanging with people that I didn't
Hmm.
want to hang with, that I knew was an absolute waste of my time.
Hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't even say a waste of my time then because it served its purpose, right? Everything
Right.
has a purpose and a reason. Maybe it was to bring
Yes.
us to where we are today to say
Hmm.
that that's just not me. There's a lot of times where I went along like you just to get along, but that inner knowing, that inner being was saying, like, girl, you wasting your
Mm.
time. Why are you having that extra drink? When I
Right.
say drink, you know what I'm saying? So, and I was never a big drinker,
Hmm.
right? Never a big drinker, but it is what it is. It was what it was. But now the circle that I keep myself with, it's very contained.
Mm-hmm.
very
Mm-hmm.
contained and whatnot. And then, and it boils down to self-acceptance. I'm okay with being alone or with someone. It doesn't matter. Just accepting myself as I am today. And I think those experiences at 20, 30, and 40 led us to maybe taking it all off at 50 something, right? And just say, hey, world, this is who we are. Kind of like taking off the lashes and leaving them off.
Yes. Do you
Uh,
find that now that you are more in tune with who you are authentically, that you attract people into your life that align more with your values and who you are as a person now and who you know yourself to be?
Right, right. So, yes, the answer to that is yes. And then I have to share with you, which I've probably done before, so forgive me, but
Mhm,
I found that I needed to kind of spread out beyond the people that I hang with, have been lifelong friends with for like 20 years.
mhm,
You know what I'm saying? The 4 or 5 people that have been in my life for that long that I really, really hold them close to my heart.
mhm.
But we are such different people, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
right? And so
Mhm,
you build your subgroups, you build your associates, you just build
mhm,
your casual friends and stuff.
mhm,
So I started a meetup group,
mhm,
where I host my own events, meetups as far as like coffee, 5Ks, going to plays and stuff. These are
mhm,
all things that I would do with a friend or by
mhm,
myself and
mhm.
stuff like that. And people are coming out of the woodworks because we need each other. We are
Yeah.
all interdependent, and
Yeah.
that self-acceptance. There's so many people that my paths have crossed in the last year or so since I've been hosting these meetups that
Mhm.
I'd be like, there's no way on earth that if it wasn't for this group that we would
Yeah.
ever connect. But
Yeah.
this is the thing within the group,
Mhm.
great friendships have been formed. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
as a connector, that brings my heart joy. And I
Yeah.
have to say that there's not one person that I have hung out with or
Mhm.
exchanged numbers to the point where we're texting and keeping up with each other
Right.
outside the group, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So friendships are very dear, but I accept myself as I am. You know what I'm saying? And being alone is all good, but
Yeah.
we're not really alone. We're
Right.
never really alone.
Right. I agree. I my
Yes.
my circle is almost a dot. That's how small it's
Yeah.
And I
Yes.
thought I was the
Yes.
only one that breaks people down into categories. Everybody's not my bestie.
Mm-mm.
Everybody's not my friend.
No.
Everybody's not an associate.
Right.
So, people have their category in my life, and I had to do it that way
Yeah.
so that I would begin to attract more people that align with who I am as a person and what my value system is. So, and even if I see you as an associate, it doesn't mean that you're less than anyone else in my life. It just means that we don't have that friendship bond yet, and we may never. But if I reach out to you or you reach out to me and I can do something for you, then I will. But I have a very, very, very small group of people that I consider my really close, dear friends. And some of
Yeah.
them I've known for about 35, 40
There
years.
we go. There
So,
we
but that
go.
circle is real small. It's like it used to
Yeah.
be bigger, but it's gotten smaller since I'm telling you, when I turned 50, I had to cut
Yeah.
people off. Some people had to go.
Yeah.
So, and I'm okay doing things, on my own too. It took me a while to
Mhm.
learn how to be comfortable doing things on my own, but I'm there now. If I have to go and do something by myself, I'm okay. But I like being around people too. I think I'm an extroverted introvert.
Okay, I get that. I get that. I'm
Yeah.
completely an extrovert. I'm
Yeah.
completely an extrovert. But if it boils down to me being sane or trying to entertain and support somebody else, I'ma always choose me.
Yeah.
Always. Talk to me about body positivity at almost 57. What is the definition of body positivity? As I had referred to earlier, you are actually in your transformation
Mhm.
at this phase in your life. But what does body positivity mean to you right here and right now, even though you're in transition or transformation?
Yeah, body positivity for me is viewing myself as healthy, happy, and whole, no matter what size I am, while I'm on my way to becoming smaller and healthier and just being more comfortable in my skin. That's what it means to me. No matter what the scale says, I still gotta love this because this is the only house that I get. So it took me a long time to stop taking my body for granted. Um, I've been overweight for a long time. I'm sure my heart and my joints are rejoicing right now because I'm 40 pounds lighter. But now when I see myself, even though I haven't reached my goal weight, when I see myself, I see this work in progress that is absolutely gorgeous. And when I say
Oh,
that to myself now, I actually believe it. I used to try to say it just to psych myself out, but now I actually believe that. And I'm so thankful for this body that I've been blessed with. I'm so thankful that I can still move and breathe and see and hear and do all of the things that I need to do to continue to reclaim my health. I am grateful that I'm still here because any health ailment that comes with morbid obesity could have taken me out by now. So by the grace of God, I'm still here. And now I know that I have a responsibility to do whatever it takes to get to the weight that is right for my body and to eat food that is going to fuel my body, not just eat mindlessly, but eat to fuel my body. And so when I see myself, like I went out today, I had some errands I needed to run and I got dressed. And I put on my new jeans that I bought because all my other jeans are too big. So I put on my new jeans that I bought. Baby, they were fitting in all the right places. I was like, are you cute? Yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Tell myself, oh, you still got it, girl. You still got it.
Yes.
So, I psych myself up. I tell myself, and I believe it now. I actually believe it.
God.
So, and it's not about trying to look good for other people. It's not about, I'm a single woman, but I don't have man on the brain. I got me on the brain right now. I'm trying to get myself together so that when I'm blessed to meet someone, we have that in common at least that we are taking care of ourselves. So it's all about me right now.
Amen. Amen. And being all about you is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And so, Sandy, for me, body positivity really means that I like you said, the jeans. I have a pair of jeans that I bought when I think it was March 2020. In March 2020, they was the most expensive pair of jeans I had ever purchased. I slid those jeans on. They were the right length. And they fit like
Yeah.
a glove, right? So for me, that body positivity is when I slide on my best pair of jeans. I'm like, girl, you
Mhm.
still got it going on after all this time, and I just feel good. Or when I wake up and I got funky breath and I ain't got my contacts in, my hair standing over my head, and I go, "Ooh, girl, you looking all right
Mhm.
today? Okay." You do
Yes.
that high
Every
five
phase.
mode.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a new day. You play that song "New
Mhm.
Day" by Patti LaBelle, and you're like, "Yeah,
Yes.
girl," you know.
Yes.
Just feeling good in my own skin, regardless of what the scale says, regardless if I'm a little swollen today versus
Mhm.
yesterday and all that stuff, just feeling good. And then the clothing that I choose to wear, making sure that I feel good and look
Mhm.
good in it, regardless, right?
Mhm.
So body positivity spreads over so many things, including how I sit in a chair, how I carry myself, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
how I feel while working out. Some days it's great, other days, maybe one out of 200 days, it's like, oh my word, just help me through this day. Body positivity means also me telling myself
Mhm.
how well I feel,
Yeah.
how well I feel, how mentally well I feel, and just
Mhm.
being thankful. Yeah,
You know what?
yeah,
I thought about something else too, Coach Rose.
sure.
As a woman living with alopecia, it took
Hmm.
me a long time to accept that I may never grow my hair back. And I've been wearing head wraps, for a few years now. But before that, I was wearing weaves and wigs and braids and all kinds of stuff, which is what made my hair fall out. But now, the only reason why I wrap my hair at the beginning of the year is because it's cold. It's snow. But come summertime, this beautiful brown bald head will be out for the whole world to see. I don't even trip about that no more. I don't trip
Right,
about it. It's just
right.
this is who I am. And I keep my head shaved because, I never know when I want to go out without wrapping my hair. And either way, just cute. So it doesn't even bother me anymore. I spent a lot of years trying to hide the fact that I had alopecia. I never let anyone see my hair. And I finally decided I'm not going to do this anymore. Life is too short for this. I have a perfectly round head, shape my head beautifully. So in the summertime, my head is out on display. Nails, I mean, lashes,
Yeah.
eyebrows, everything that enhances my face is done. And I feel like a real woman. And it took me a long time to get here, but I'm
Amen.
finally here. And I'm really, really thankful.
You go, girl. Amen. So let me piggyback on that. That is congratulations. But first, let me ask you, when did you decide to just have freedom from the wigs, braids, and all that good stuff and weaves?
January 1st of 2024, I shaved my head.
It's
And before that, I never showed my hair in public. I
mhm,
always had on a wig or a weave or something, or I would keep it wrapped up. But January 1st, 2024, I shaved my head. I took some photos and I posted them to Facebook. And the caption on my post was, "Beauty is as beauty believes." And I 100% believe that. You are only as beautiful as you believe that you are. It's not about what other people believe about you. What matters is what you believe about you, because what you believe is what other people act on, or is what other people emulate about you. It's about how you feel about yourself. When you feel good and confident and sure about yourself, people will be confident about you. They'll have confidence in you. But
it's
it
a
starts with
reflection.
you.
Yeah,
Yes, it
it's a
starts with
reflection.
you. Yes,
You're giving the energy out, and people are picking up on that, and they're going to treat you accordingly. And the
exactly.
reason I asked you about when you did your transformation with your hair is because with the carnivore lifestyle, I have scaled down so much. I won't say that I'm a minimalist by any means, but I'm getting closer and closer every year, right? Instead of buying five spatulas and five frying pans and three treadmills for a home gym, okay, maybe I'm down to one spatula, maybe two frying pans, and maybe two treadmills.
You did it, girl. You
But
did it.
but I've always had a thing about hair. I remember being like 3, 4 years old, brushing my grandmother's hair, twisting it and plaiting it, having dolls doing their
Mhm.
hair. And when I was about 16, 17, I got introduced to weaves and all that good stuff. And by the time I turned 18, it was a wrap. Hair
Mm.
down my back and yada, yada, yada. I was into the braids, wigs,
Yeah.
and weaves. That
Mhm.
went from 18 until Mother's Day of last year. I decided to give myself a break. Now I have alopecia all around my edges
Mhm.
and especially on the top. My
Mhm.
natural hair is like long, really,
Mhm.
really long, right? Before all of this alopecia, even with the alopecia, I still would get weaves. I would still get
Mhm.
the micro braids. Isn't that
Mhm.
crazy? It's
Yeah,
insane.
I
I
was doing it.
identified myself so much through my hair, right?
Mhm.
Lashes, makeup, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Mother's Day, I presented myself of 24 through September. I said, well, I'm just going to learn how to twist my hair and just wear twists. I was
Mhm.
doing really, really good. My hair was getting really, really long again, but the thinness, I couldn't
Mhm.
hide that, right? And
Right.
then I said, well, I'm just going to go past my birthday. I'm just going to keep on no more wigs, braids, or weaves. And then January like 6th, I think, 5th or
Mhm.
6th, I said, let me just cut it all down. Let me just stop doing the little twisties myself. Because, girl, that's maintenance too, okay? Every 2 weeks,
Mhm.
washing it and retwisting it.
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
cut it down. I went and got it cut with an urgency. And
Yeah.
then 2 weeks ago, I got it cut down so low. I'm like,
Mhm.
girl, look at all that baby hair. So I think I might end up getting it cut at least every 3 to 4 weeks. I love
Yeah.
the short, easy look, just
Yeah,
short,
simple.
easy. But I'm not ready to just let it all
Mm.
go just
Yeah,
because I love hair and I love how it
yeah.
frames my face. But that's another thing with body positivity, right? We
Mhm,
have to
mhm,
love what we do and don't have.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. You
yeah.
got to be ready before you can shave it off. You got to be ready for that. And I just said, child, bye.
Bye,
I'm
Felicia.
not playing this game no more. If I want to wear my bald head, I'm gonna wear my bald head. And I
Yes.
do. I wear it proudly, especially in the summertime. I love the feeling of the sun
Yeah.
on my bald head. When I first felt the sun
Mhm.
on my head, I just
Mhm.
said, the brown sun years. And then to get in a hot shower and have that
Mhm.
hot water on your head. Oh, it's the best thing ever.
And girl, let me tell you, I used to wear braids, be running all these races now. Y'all, for y'all that don't know, we live in the Seattle, immediate Seattle area. It rains all the time. So
Mhm.
I'd be running all these miles, be outside, my braids would be drenched, I'd be sweating.
Yeah.
That's a lot of maintenance in and of
Mhm.
itself, trying to get your hair dry, wrap it up, go to bed with it wet, whatever. And
Mhm.
even just working out, that is one sister or two who does not like to work out because they don't want to ruin their hair, right? But it doesn't
Mhm.
help their health not to work
Right,
out, right?
right.
So we wear braids or these supposed protective styles
Mhm.
to be able to do all the things and sweat and still look good, right? No,
Right.
let it go. Let
Mm-mm.
it go.
Let it go.
Yes, so much
Yeah.
easier. Yes.
I love going to hot works with my head uncovered. Yeah, I
Hmm.
love it. Hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Therapy at its best. Okay, so I want to ask you, is there anything that you would like to contribute to this conversation that maybe we didn't mention earlier before we close out?
My heart is really for women like us in their 50s who have either gone through a divorce or they're widowed now. They're finding themselves alone, not in a partnership, alone but not lonely, or maybe they are lonely. And I know that when I first got divorced 4 years ago, it was really hard for me to um, learn how to do things by myself and on my own because I was married for a long time. So I know how difficult that can be. It can be scary, actually. It can be debilitating, if you aren't ready to just get out there and do it. And so I just want to speak to women right now who are maybe not in a relationship, you're not married for whatever reason, you're living life on your own. Maybe you're like me, you're an empty nester. My kids have been gone out of the nest for a long time. I'm a grandmother now, and I'm learning how to be the best Sandy I can be on my own. And I have to say, I have to be completely honest, when I first started this journey, it was very, very difficult. I was sad, I was depressed, I was overeating to try to make myself feel better. That was when the my emotional attachment to food was at its peak. And so I was reaching for food because I didn't have the companionship that I'd had for almost 3 decades. And so it can be really difficult to dig your way out of that kind of mindset where you just feel like, well, when I'm in my 50s, who's going to want to date me? Who's going to want me? I'm going to die alone. Those are all the thoughts that I was having in my head when I first went through my divorce. And so I went to therapy and I had to learn, first of all, that whether I remarry or not, my goal, my mission, my purpose in life is to be healthy, happy, and whole, period. Whether I'm in a relationship or not, whether I'm remarried or not, come what may. Sandy needs to be healthy, happy, whole. And so my therapist showed me how to make that my focus and shut out all the other noise and just focus on becoming the best Sandy that I could possibly be. And it reminded me of when I went to see Oprah Winfrey when she came to
The
Seattle.
arena? The arena,
Yes,
way
in the
back when.
90s, way back when,
I
way
was
back.
there too, girl. I
Were
had to
you
see
there?
my
I think
Oprah.
it was like 94, 93,
Yes,
something like that,
yes. It,
95.
mm,
And I stood in
be
line.
telling our age.
That's all right. I'll be 57 on April 26th. Cash at me if you would like. I would love that. And so I got in, I bought a ticket. I drove myself, which was a miracle because I didn't drive on the freeway back then, but honey, Oprah was coming. So I got in my little Chevy Chevette and drove to Seattle, got into the venue, and then I stood in line for about 45 minutes to ask Oprah a question. And my question for Oprah was, how does one become an Oprah Winfrey? And Oprah said to me, she asked me, what is your name? I said, my name is Lysandra. And she said, Lysandra, your job is to focus on becoming the best Lysandra you can be because there is only one Oprah and there will never be another. Just like there's only one Lysandra and there will never be another. I'll never forget that.
Go
I stood in
ahead,
line for
go
45
ahead,
minutes just to
go.
hear that. And then I asked her, could I give her a picture of my kids? And she said, yeah, and I gave it to her. So that has stuck in my mind. I believe that was
Yeah,
1995, so
yeah.
30 years ago. And
Mhm.
it's been my quest to learn how to become the best Lysandra I can be. And I'm so much better at it now that I'm in my 50s. I'm better than I have ever been with that mission.
Right,
So I don't worry about, what's coming down the road. I try to stay fully present in the moment. And right now in this moment, I am happy, I am healthy, and I am whole. And that's what matters
amen.
to me.
Amen.
Amen.
Happy, healthy, and whole. And
Yes.
for myself, it's my mental health is
Mhm.
like top notch. It's on par. You know what I'm saying? So, life is just good. And I really like what you say about not worrying too far into the future because
Yeah.
that does create anxiety for people. But I do want to say that having goals or looking forward to things that are coming in the future or being prepared is
Mhm.
kind of a necessity too, but
It
we don't want
is.
to obsess over it to where it takes
Exactly.
our attention away from today. Right?
Exactly. Hmm.
Right. All
That's
right.
right.
So, all right, friends, we're gonna close out on this because me and Miss Sandy can talk. Okay, we can
Yes.
talk, but we're gonna
All day,
close it
all
out. We're gonna close it out, and you guys will join us on another episode in a couple of
yes.
weeks. All right. Thank you so much, Miss
I
Sandy, for being here and being my co-host today.